I think I'm live. I think I'm live and not at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but it's okay. So it says I'm live. I hope I'm live. If anybody's on any of my pages, let me know if you can see me. Because it's Wednesday and it's a new live time, and of course I'm late. It's my own fault. I double booked some stuff. So that's what I get for new calendars and trying to figure it all out. So happy Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Christina Springstead, Springstead Solutions, your profit strategist and profit first bookkeeper. Glad to be here to talk to you all today. I am here with the Wednesday nuggets that I talked about. We're going to move on to. Hello, Miss Misha. Happy Wednesday. So we're going to talk about Wednesday nuggets we talked about. For those of you who have not joined us before, I'm Christina. And we're going to teach you how to be permanently profitable and on time. Just fun. It's tax time. It's all the good stuff, right? So glad to be here. I am a certified profit first professional mastery level. I am a certified public bookkeeper. I went into business for myself to help small businesses succeed and working on profit strategies in their business. And then I support with bookkeeping and payroll where needed. So to anyone who has not been on here before, apologies that a little more loosey-goosey than normal, but hey, I'm fun to hang around. So there's that. So coming to you every Wednesday live with some wisdom nuggets for you. Was trying to do some lives before. They were going a little long and realized there's so much content to take out there that I was going to keep these real short and sweet for you guys and just discuss something that is relevant and could be helpful to you. So the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about this week is it's tax time. You're getting ready to send all your stuff to your bookkeeper, your CPA, so they can process your taxes because it is in 2 days, the IRS starts taking those tax returns. So hopefully you're starting to think about all that good stuff and have gotten all your forms in the mail. But if you own a business, and that's what we kind of talk about, is step one of things for you to start thinking about before you send your file over is if you have some accounting software, let's get your customer list cleaned up. So that's what we're talking about today. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to just talk about a few little small tips that you can go through just to check your file before you send it over to your CPA to make sure things look good so you don't have any questions coming back. So wanted to focus on you guys taking a look at your customer list and making sure that it's clean. And so what does clean mean? Well, you want to make sure that in your customer list or in your customer file that you don't have anything in there that is no longer relevant, is a duplicate, is incorrect, or maybe things that are uncollectible and you know what you haven't taken care of. So just a few things for you guys to look at. I'm going to refer to QuickBooks Online because that's pretty much what I specialize in and use here. Also desktop, but if you guys use Xero or FreshBooks or something else, you'll be able to follow along. So you want to go to your customer center, check everything out, and take a look through your clients. If you have some that you haven't worked with for a while and they're no longer active clients, you want to deactivate them so they don't show up in your list. They can't potentially be assigned to any transactions that might not apply. I don't know if you ever just move in too fast and something has the same kind of characteristics and you choose the wrong person. Those kind of things can happen. So I encourage you to go through your customer list, see if there are any that are no longer active that you know of that you can deactivate. And at the same time, if you're not sure, maybe run a report of transactions by your customer and see how long it's been since you've worked with someone. That might be a really good place to start some sales calls for the year too, is maybe you've worked with someone consistently, you haven't for a while, didn't really realize it because other stuff was happening. It's a good sales tactic to reach out. Or if you're like, nope, this customer, maybe they're no longer in business, or maybe they're changed what they're doing, you can deactivate them and get your customer list cleaned up. Secondly, naming standards for your customers. I have seen so many things. Okay, whoever Facebook user is that just wanted to see my pretty face, and you might be on YouTube or on my page, I can't tell from StreamYard. So if you go above and just say, hey, let StreamYard see who you are, I'd like to see the name because you just made my day. And I appreciate that because I just said, I don't think I have enough makeup on, but that's for a different story. So if you want to go through naming conventions, when you're small and you're a small business, you just start throwing things in there, but you want to stop and think, how would I search for people and how would I tell employees, if I got employees, how to search for people? Are you a first name, last name person? Are you a last name, first name person? Are you a whatever you're feeling like in the moment person and you have no clue how to find your customer if you were scrolling for someone? So stop and think about the fact of how it would make sense for you to put your customers in the system. I myself am a fan of last name, comma, first name, and that should be like my standard. So if I'm finding anything different, so if you're finding it's not set up correctly and it's manageable to go in there and clean all that up, get that done now. Because that can also lead to maybe there's duplicates down the road. You have someone working in your stuff, they're a last name, first name, you're a first name, last name. You've never had, hi Teresa, so good to see you. You have never had to worry about it, and all of a sudden you've got a double entry, right? So you've got a customer that's in there twice. Christina Springstead is in there, and then Springstead, comma, Christina's in there, and you invoice me under Christina Springstead, and you put my payment under Springstead Christina. You got all this weird stuff happening in your customer file, so we don't want to have that. So go through your list, deactivate anybody who's not active anymore. Clean up the names and identify your standard. Even if it's just you and you're small, let's assume you're growing. Let's assume that things are going to get bigger and that you are going to grow and need some employees, and we need to know exactly how that is going to play out, and then make a note of it so you remember what it was in case you change your mind tomorrow. Sometimes we're like, yeah, that decision sounds great, and then it's a little bit different the next day. So you want to do those things. If you find a duplicate, if you find a Christina Springstead's Christina, again, referring to QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop, I'm sure the other ones can do this, but you can merge them. You simply have to just change the name, they'll merge themselves together and get all that cleaned up so all of your transactions can be in one place. It's kind of frustrating if you're like, oh, I did something for someone. You find one account, you're not aware that there's a duplicate, and you cannot find the transaction that you're talking about. That can just be really frustrated. So that's tip 3. And then if you run invoices out of your system, if you're an invoice person, you want to run an open invoice report and check that. Some of the things you're looking for is Christina Springstead's in there because she is a great client. And she's got invoices listed and she's got payments listed, but she owes you nothing. It's a $0 balance. Payments are not applied correctly, so we want to get that cleaned up ahead of time. Maybe you invoice someone and then they went to get it. They're like, hey, I don't need this part, or they ordered more and then they paid you more, but you never really got your invoice updated. So now you've got a credit in the system because they overpaid what your invoice says, or because they underpaid what your invoice says because it's not matched. So you want to look for anything where there's a small balances that might have been there. Maybe there's something wonky that went on with the sales tax, or the payment doesn't match and you're wondering why. You need to fix your invoice and have it updated. That's hugely important if you're paying sales tax, so make sure you're doing that one monthly. Reconcile your open invoices monthly. And then if you come across and you've got a duplicate invoice, maybe you accidentally invoiced them twice and didn't realize, or you've got duplicate payments in there, be very careful when you go to clean this up. Some people's definition of clean is simply delete. And although that can be okay, that could also be like grabbing the sweater, the little string that's hanging off the sweater, and pulling. And next thing you know, half your sweater's missing because you pulled and you created this whole situation. One wrong deletion can lead you in a world of hurt of trying to find out what happened. You know, a deletion of an invoice could be a payment that's applied. Now the payment is applied to a deposit, like you just got a mess happening. So tread carefully. And if you don't know what you're doing, find yourself a bookkeeper, someone you can consult with, or someone that you can use on a regular basis. Yes, that's a plug for my industry because this is an easy, not easy thing to do. So those are the things I want to talk to you about. Journal entering is a possibility. That's really a bookkeeper thing, just to let you know, to keep it clean, to make sure you're not undoing anything. And void is always a better option than delete. If you're like, hey, I'm very comfortable with getting this out of my system, void, because there is some sort of transaction remembrance in the background, just in case you find out later that you are wrong. So that is my Wednesday wisdom nuggets that I'm coming at for you as you are prepping your stuff for your CPA, for your tax preparer, whoever it is you're bringing them to. Get your client list cleaned up. So deactivate anyone that's not there. Get your naming standards identified. Merge any duplicates that you have. Apply any payments that were not applied correctly. And then any transactions that you know are incorrect for some reason, but you cannot figure out how to do them. Find yourself a bookkeeper that you can have on a retainer for consulting. Or I've got a good friend who does some QBO, that's QuickBooks Online. She's got a DIY membership, which is fantastic. Not something that I do, but if you're someone who wants to DIY your books and you think, oh, I could just use some help, or I want to learn this myself before I trade it off, and I want to get some support until you get a bookkeeper, I've got a link for you. I am happy to share it with you. So if you're a DIYer, do-it-yourself person and want to learn all those things, I've got a support system for you there too. So that is my Wednesday Wisdom Nuggets. If you have any questions or need some clarification, drop a comment down below in any of the pages that we're going live. Please share. If you're coming in on Permanently Profitable Group, please invite people. If you're on my Springstead Solutions page, thanks for the love. Let people know I'm here. And if you're on YouTube, which I'm still trying to figure out, so glad you were able to tune in. So that is it for today. I will be back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I will be on time, y'all, to talk about another little nugget of wisdom to help you get ready for your tax return. Have a great day, everyone. So glad to see you all here or catch you on the replay, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.